So, excuse my eyes. I just got out of the shower, and when I'm in the shower, I put my face underneath the faucet and rub my eyes. But anyways, um, so I know every service. I'm reading from a script because I need to keep focused. So I know every service animal YouTuber and their parent wants to make this specific video. And to an extent, I believe that it's kind of required, because there's so many questions that the general public doesn't either know that they should be asking, or they don't know the answers to these questions, and they're really, really important questions. Like, what's the difference between an emotional support animal, a therapy animal, and a service animal? Or, what rights does an emotional support, or ESA, have compared to the rights of a service dog, compared to the rights of, what have you. But those videos are also a dime a dozen. Every service animal and YouTuber makes those videos at least once, and it's because it is a necessary video. But I have a uniqueness problem. I like to be unique in a lot of the things that I do, which makes me primarily not unique, because everyone wants to be unique. We can't all be unique, otherwise no one would be unique. Anyways, so I wanted to create a video that does talk about service animals and general education for service animals, but I wanted to cover the misinformation in the service dog community. Things that, new handlers will come across, and I want them to have this in their toolkit so that way they are a little bit more well informed for these specific misinformations, and they can either know better themselves and not be fooled by the misinformation, or they can actually correct the person giving them the misinformation, tell them exactly the source, because I'm going to put sources in the description, and go, no, actually, this is the correct thing. So I am making a Service Dog 101 video, but it is not on the basics of service dogs and service dog etiquette. My video is going to be on correcting the misinformation rampant in the service dog community, service animal community. So first, according to the American with Disabilities Act, or the ADA as I will be referring to it from now on, as of February 28th, 2020, as a dog that are, according to the ADA, the definition of a service dog is a dog that is individually task trained to do work or perform tasks for people with disabilities, specifically to mitigate those disabilities. There are no specific breeds that can or cannot be service dogs. Now, I need to do more research on this particular thing, because last time I checked before doing the script for this video, it specified that wolf dog hybrids cannot be service animals. They will not be covered. But other than that I also need to double check on, so that I myself am not giving away misinformation. That was the only breed specification, and even then it's not a breed, it's more akin to a species. But a lot of people will look at small dogs, looking like Chihuahuas, Dachshunds, that sort of thing, and they'll be like, oh, that dog's too small, it can't work. According to the ADA, a service dog can be any dog of any size that meets the requirements to be a service dog. So they have to be specifically task trained to mitigate a disability of its handler. They also have to be potty trained. They have to be well groomed. They have to be calm and under control at all times. Those are the requirements. They also cannot be aggressive, and they cannot have a bite record. I'll go through that a little bit later. But there's no breed specifications. So those of you who think, oh, only Labradors, only Goldens, only Poodles. No. The Fab 4 in the service dog community are, and the fourth one is where I get a little confused because different people say different dogs, but generally it is the golden retriever, the standard poodle, and the Labrador retriever. And then fourth sometimes is debated as a German shepherd. Sometimes they call it a rough collie. But those are the fab four. Those are the dog breeds that have the most success rate. Now, just because you get one of these dogs and you make sure they're responsibly bred and well bred and they will work for your purposes, does not mean that they may necessarily make it to become a service dog. So keep that in mind. There is no guarantee that your dog will be a service dog. Your dog can be the most well-suited temperament-wise and then just not have it in their will to work. In which case, you should wash that dog and do another. Because we really don't want to force dogs to do jobs that they're not comfortable with doing. That's why we go through so much training with our dogs. For me, training lasts for about 2 years, sometimes 2.5. What else? This brings me to the first common misconception. Although there aren't many restrictions on service, I think I already covered this. Yeah, I covered this. I'm sorry. I slimmed down my script and then I slimmed it down more. ESAs are not service dogs. Either are therapy dogs. Therapy dogs can be licensed and they can be registered. ESAs, you have to receive a doctor's note. The websites that they or spout out that they can give your dog a certification and it's 100% legal. It's not. It's a scam. It is your responsibility as the handler to learn and understand the laws from the ADA, and also to realize that the ADA does not cover service animals in training. So you'll have to actually defer to your state laws when it comes to that. For instance, because service animals in training are not covered by the ADA, your state law, whatever says goes, as long as they're not stepping on the toes of the service dog laws from the ADA. For instance, in California, in the state of California, a service dog in training must receive from their county a tag identifying them as a service dog in training. No, we haven't gotten one for Hino. It's on my things to do. But legally speaking, you're not covered under the California state laws as a service dog training team unless you have that tag. That tag also certifies that not only is your dog calm, collected, has the correct temperament, has the correct building blocks, it also specifies that your dog is current on their vaccinations, that your dog is in good health, and that your dog is licensed in that county. So things like that you need to defer to the state level because they're not covered under the federal level. But you could have state laws that try to be like, well, you can't work a service dog that's not a golden retriever, in which case you would defer back to the federal laws, which specifies that there is no specific breeds that can or cannot be worked as a service animal. So keep that in mind. Do your research. Each state has their own laws. Some may be similar, but they're not all exactly the same. A service dog cannot go into produce sections in the store, in the grocery stores. I actually heard this from one of my trainer that I was working with Sock. And I had a feeling it was incorrect, but I didn't know for sure. And so when I was making this video, this was actually the reason I made this video, because a training professional told me this. He himself works service dogs. Jason, I'm talking to you, buddy. I love you. Learn your freaking laws. So he's a brilliant trainer. He was spot on with most of the laws. This is not one of them. So a service dog that is clean, under control, healthy, and housebroken is generally allowed to go wherever the general public is permitted, with some exceptions. A service dog cannot go into a public kitchen, i.e., if you're a chef, and I saw this in an article once, if you are a chef and you want to work in a restaurant's kitchen that does not give you the reasonable accommodation to ask for a service dog in the kitchen. Specifically, according to the ADA, this is a health code violation. It is unsanitary, and it puts the general public at risk to health or safety because you're service dog. Service dogs are not allowed in restaurant kitchens. Now, your personal kitchen, do you, boo. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. However, public kitchens, they are not allowed. Sterilized areas like operating rooms or ICUs. These are, okay, so someone actually explained it to me this way, and it made a lot of sense. If you can go into a room with your street clothes, you should be able to be in that room with your service dog. But like burn units and stuff like that, I don't know because I've never been in one, but they may make you change into like a paper scrub outfit, or I know for birthing you have to wear scrubs, and I know for operations like going under for surgery, those you have to change your clothes for as well because those are sterile. Even the doctors have to scrub up properly and whatnot. So your dogs are not allowed in there. First of all, there's no reason for them to be in there. And second of all, they cannot put the general public at risk to health or safety. And that they would do because dogs have hair. Even non-shedding breeds, every dog sheds. If you're like me and you have a doodle, I have an F1 doodle, which is 50-50. So Hino is actually half Burmese mountain dog, half standard poodle. That's a F1 breed. Now, I'm not going to go through the debate of whether or not a doodle is a mutt or a designer breed. This is my opinion, arguably fact, but you know, this is where I stand on this. And this is all I'm going to say about this, and then I'm going to move on because I have actual things that on the script we need to talk about. If you take one breed A, and you really like some characteristics of this right here, breed A, we'll say, because I have a bunch of them, a Chihuahua. So breed A is Chihuahua. And then you have breed A, and you're like, you know what would be good? A little bit of breed B. Breed B will be Dachshund, because again, I have a bunch of those. So we're going to have our Chihuahua, we're going to breed it to a Dachshund, and then this is going to give us the designer breed of C, Chiweenie. That's not a designer breed. I hate to inform you guys. Designer breeds are a nice way of saying a mutt. I'm not going to go off about, oh, you need to buy, or you need to rescue, not breed. You need to do this, not that. There are responsible breeders. There are also inherently wrong things with purebreds. And I do believe that there's actually merit to mixing breeds, because although you kind of end up with a lottery of what health concerns you do get, it also gives you an opportunity to breed out those common birth defects and health problems that are in normal purebred dogs from overbreeding. For instance, if you take a brachycephalic breed like a pug and you breed them to a long-snouted breed or just a snouted breed, then you're going to correct some of that brachycephalicness, and your litter is going to be a little bit healthy in that concern. Now, they could actually have more risk for like hip dysplasia or something like that. That's my tangent. Just know I see them as mutts. I love my mutts. I absolutely adore my mutts. My next service dog is not going to be one. No particular reason, just for once in my life, I'd like to try to have purebred. I think I already have an idea of who the breeder is going to be. But that's not going to happen for like another 9 years if everything goes correctly. So back to my script. I lost where we were. Sterilized operating rooms, or in certain areas in a zoo where a dog may cause stress to a natural predator or prey animal. The federal law says a service dog can go into the produce section, but specifies local or state laws may not hinder a service dog team from entering the produce section. Specifically, the law says that. But as for certain areas in the zoo, we're talking about you shouldn't take your service dog around the lions, because in the wild, a lion will eat your service dog. And by letting a lion see your service dog, that may trigger unwanted stress, and stress that can put that lion at risk, because now they're concerned with stalking your dog, which could also cause your dog to have some stress, just because it's not safe for either animal. And then of course you have animals that are natural prey animals to dogs, like they don't want you to walk them around. I don't know the specific examples of that one, so I'm just going to leave that one there. But that seems to be all that I have for you guys. I'm sorry I rambled still. Even with my script, I'm terrible at rambling. But I needed to get this video done because I have so many videos that I need to film. And I haven't even been vlogging my training either, which we've been making really good leaps and bounds in progress. And I haven't been able to share that with you guys. So that is all I have to say. Dogs can be in strollers. 4 on the floor is not a federal law, although the reason that it is such a strict service animal community law is because even if you're in a pet-friendly place, your dog can still seriously injure themselves on a shopping cart. Your dog should always be 4 on the floor or be in a specialized thing, so that way they don't get themselves hurt. And as for like Walmarts or stuff like that, get your damn dogs out of the shopping carts. Not only is it unsafe for them, it's also a health code violation. There are no exceptions. Walmart is not pet friendly. And matter of fact, they have signs saying only service dogs are allowed. Stop it. Don't put your dogs in the stupid shopping carts because it's not safe. Okay. That's all I can think of. Okay, bye.